It's already been more than half a year through 2021. It's crazy how time flies by really fast, especially when you're busy doing a lot of things, you're busy with your life and trying to progress through. And it feels like 2020 didn't happen not too long ago. And to us, 2020 was such a long year with a lot of events, very unfortunate events that have happened. And for me, I'm going to talk about, dealing with loss and grief, especially for me. So, first of all, for when the year 2020 started, I thought to myself, things are going to definitely going to look up for myself. I'm going to start, my first semester of grad school. I'm gonna go to my first ever Smash tournament, and I actually did. I went to Genesis 7 with I met some of my Discord friends. We all met up, and it was such a fun time. I got to experience my first ever major. I went 2-2. Like, to me, that's an accomplishment. Obviously, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but to me, that was like a good progress. I thought to myself, especially in majors, you're playing a lot of good people, and you think to yourself, if I go 0-2, at least I got to play. But being able to go 2-2 in close matches, that's a accomplishment for me. And I was able to play in the Mark Card 8 tournament. And for me, I know I don't follow the meta. And one of the things that I should have done was to try hard in the tournament, but I still stuck with my main Baby Luigi and Blue Falcon, and I almost got top 12 into the grand finals. That would have been such a feat for me, but it happens. Sometimes you don't get the best of luck. But I don't want to talk about, obviously it's always good to get out the positives of what happened in 2020 for me, but I'm going to go in depth of the things that happened to me that really affected me emotionally, for the people that I lost. So first off, I'm going to talk about losing. I lost three friends that were close to me in college and one childhood friend. So, experience of loss and grief. The first friend that I heard the news that I lost was my friend Casey. Casey was a friend that I knew in college. She was part of a sorority called AZD, Alpha Z Delta. If you don't know, I was also part of a fraternity, Omega Phi. It's a social philanthropic fraternity, and I was part of it. I was an active brother for 2.5 years, and I got to meet a lot of people through those connections. I was able to get scholarships, and I was able to get into induction to the honor society. I met Casey through one of the sororities, and she was such a sweet girl. She was one of my coaches for the philanthropy that we were doing for Autism Speaks, and she was so outgoing and she was so nice to everyone. I found out that uh, during, I think, May or June of 2020, that she passed away in a really horrific car accident, and that car accident, when her friend was in it too, and she also passed away. Basically, they were waiting in the left turn while a guy behind them, I don't know if he was under the influence of drugs, had a heart attack, but pretty much he rammed them while they were stopped in the intersection for a left turn at like 90 miles per hour, and they hit a pole and the car caught on fire. While the paramedics were able to take them out of the car, she passed away in the hospital. So that to me affected me very greatly, because she was so young. She was only 24, and she had a whole life ahead of her, and everyone loved her. Like, she was a positive ray of energy. And hearing that death like hurt me, because I talked to her not too long ago, last year, and she was doing fine. She said she was getting ready to go to grad school and do things, go progress with their life. That's why to me, like, life can be so short, and you just have to take value into it. And then another death that also affected me really badly was my friend Allison. She was also a part of another sorority, a Jewish sorority called Sigma Alpha Epsilon Pi, and this one made me cry a little bit because I supported that Jewish sorority very, very dear to my heart. I was the Sapphire Man. For anyone that doesn't know what that means, it's basically mean you get to wear their letters, to their events, to their meetings. You get to wear it, at college campus. Basically means like you're their best supporter, and you have the honor of being part of their sisterhood. Kind of, it's kind of like a bragging rights type of thing, but I know for many people it's not really meaningful because the Greek society is very different, and it's kind of hard to explain to the public. But basically, she I remember one of our interactions is that she wanted to ask me on to a day party, just a little fun party that. But the problem is I didn't see the message. She messaged me on Instagram, and I asked her like, I'm so sorry, I would have loved to go. I just didn't see the message on time. And she's like, no, it's okay. You know, I understand. I it sucks because she found a date already, and it's fine. It's just for fun. But I really was devastated when I heard that she passed away last year as well. I think sometime in July or June, and she had like a rare disease. I don't know what the disease was, but she passed away, and she was only 19, and that to me like it made me cry because you know me being the best supporter for their sorority. I wanted to get to know her more, and more of the sisters, and her passing away, it felt so crappy to me because I wasn't able to get to know her more as the days go on, and I didn't realize like she had a disease. It's devastating for me. And then we'll talk about um, other celebrities that passed away of last year. So we all know of Alex Trebek, the person that made Jeopardy. When he passed away, I know a lot of people were very saddened by his death. I didn't watch Jeopardy that much, but I knew who he was. That death to me also devastated me as well. Sometimes it just happens so suddenly. And then Rick May, if people don't know who Rick May is, Rick May was the voice actor for Peppy in the original Star Fox 64. One of my favorite N64 games. You guys should ever check it out if you're trying to play a retro game just for nostalgia. And one of the greatest railway shooters. He also voiced Soldier for Team Fortress 2, and he was a renowned voice actor, and he died to COVID last year. I think sometime in March or April, and he was I think in the 60s or 70s. But that death, made a lot of people sad, especially in the gaming community. People that played TF2, people that played Star Fox. Like he meant a lot to me because I really loved his voice acting, and he's an upstanding guy. Then Chadwick Boseman. He's, as many people know, the actor of Black Panther. And if you haven't watched his other movie, there was a movie about it was during the Vietnam War. I'll probably have to search it up just to make sure. The one movie that he starred in was The Five Bloods. He was really good in that movie. When we all found out that he passed away due to colon cancer at stage 4 in August, and no one knew about it. It just happened so suddenly, and you can't help but feel very sad and empathetic for that, because the reason why he didn't want to tell anyone about his colon cancer is he didn't want people to worry. The only thing he wanted to do was to make sure that people, you know, the people that looked up to him, especially like the kids that looked up to the Black Panther, they wanted to see him as like an idol and hero. And he didn't want to tell anyone. He didn't want anyone to worry. And he did some of those movies even with the colon cancer. Like and colon cancer is no joke. It's very painful from what I've heard. He still went with it, and he stood strong. And that death was also devastating to me because I know a lot of my friends who were big fans of his character in Black Panther and the Avengers movies. Like, people loved him, and it sucks to see him go. And now, last but not least, and I left them especially for last, because they met out of all the deaths, and not to say that most of the deaths that I've talked about, especially my friends, was Victoria. Well, there's gonna be one more death after this that I'm gonna talk about, but this death to me from my childhood really affected me greatly. There was Victoria. Victoria was a childhood friend that I've known since first grade, and she also went to CSUN as well, the college that I went to. Basically, we were we used to go to the same Catholic school from first to eighth grade, and we were big Laker fans. And a little, slow fun fact: her and my mom used to work at the same company for each other, so we kind of have a little backstory of how we knew each other in our small community. But she passed away in her sleep last year, the night before Halloween. And when I found out, I it made me tear up really badly. That was my childhood friend, and you think to yourself, like, it couldn't happen to my childhood friend. It couldn't happen to my friend passing away so suddenly. You wouldn't think, but it can happen to anyone. And so when I found out she passed away in her sleep, and I just found this on Facebook, I was just browsing. It just made me, it made my, my stomach drop. And she was only 24. She just graduated from college, the year after me, and she was going to go into, the health administration. Just to hear that happen just made me tear up really badly. And I was fortunate to be invited to her funeral, to her viewing, and so I was able to go, with my girlfriend, and I saw her. And I don't know if you ever been to a public viewing before, but when I saw her, she to me, wanted to say, like, I hope she wakes up and says she's fine. But when I was talking to her, like, it was hard to get the words out of my mouth. Me and her were also huge Laker fans, huge Kobe fans, and we always had fun talking about the Lakers. And she asked me for advice with, like, school and stuff. And she was such a sweet lady, and I feel so bad for her mom and her sister and her brother. Her father passed away as well, Victoria's father, when we were still in middle school. Like, she was only in fifth grade when he passed away. So I can't imagine the pain that, her mom has to go through, losing her youngest daughter and her husband. That's just a lot to take in. And last but not least, for sure, last but not least, make sure not to leave anyone out, was Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant and the seven others on that fateful morning on January 26, 2020. This death, these deaths, was the one that made me devastated the most. This happened on the third day of Genesis 7, the Smash tournament that I went to. And basically, this death was so sudden, and I didn't even find out until, like, sometime in the afternoon. And this incident happened sometime in the morning back at home in Calabasas, California. And I was in Oakland at the time because that's where the Smash tournament major was. I was in Oakland at the time, and when I found out, I could not believe it. And the only reason why I found out was because my girlfriend told me, saying, she texted me like, "Oh my God, babe, Kobe Bryant died." I'm like, what? It can't be the Kobe Bryant, because you don't think Kobe Bryant, he would be in a helicopter accident or he died. I had to search it up. I had to look on Reddit. I had to look on TMZ. Usually TMZ, when they report a celebrity death, they're usually not wrong most of the time. So I had to search it up. I had to make sure. And when I looked it up, I was like, no, there's no way. And then 2 or 3 hours later, they confirmed that Gianna, her her daughter, one of her daughters, the one that was teaching her how to play basketball, passed away in the helicopter too. And I was just like, dude, no. And to me, I still can't believe it. You don't think that her death and his death, her teammates, two of her teammates were also on that plane, and the pilot, the parents of those of her teammates, and the assistant coach and Kobe, like they were all on that fateful morning, flying, and it's just, I still can't believe it when you think about it. And people who never watched basketball knew who Kobe was. That's how much he transcended, to the popularity and the legacy he left, playing basketball for 20 years with the Lakers. And so many of the accomplishments that he made, like they never go unnoticed. And I can show you all the pictures, all the achievements that he shows. Like these are all the achievements he had. He's had 81 points, his 62 points in 3 quarters, his 5 championship rings, his clutch performances day in and day out, the many injuries he's faced, and he still got to play. And so many of it, all the success he had. He has 2 gold Olympic medals, and he has an Oscar. What kind of player like that? What kind of person like that has that much of a success in basketball and also has an Oscar? And if you haven't watched Dear Basketball, I recommend you to watch it. It's a very heartfelt little short documentary story that he made. It makes you feel how he left it all on the floor for his career. And his last game, legendary. And all the things that I grew up watching when I was only 5 years old, like watching him play with Shaq and Rick Fox and Derek Fisher, all those guys. To me, I still can't believe that he's gone. And to me, it's just unfortunate that this is the reality of life, is that sometimes it can happen to anyone, even Kobe. And I thought that Kobe was invincible. And Gianna, man, she was only 13, but I'm telling you, if she was still here today, I would totally watch the WNBA just because of her. She had her father's fadeaway already, and that fadeaway is just iconic. It's just unfortunate that Kobe Bryant and Gianna, they're both gone, and I can't imagine how Vanessa's still feeling. You can't get over that, Vanessa and Natalia, and the fact that BB and Coco won't be able to grow up getting to know their father and their sister Gianna. But I'm pretty sure everyone around them will tell them how much their father meant to them. And so, with all these, unfortunate passings that I've told you about, what is the message that I'm trying to give you dealing with loss and grief? Honestly, I can't really give you a straight answer for that. Many people process loss and grief very differently. Some people process it, deal with it better than others. Some people just never get over it, and that's okay. I'm never over Kobe and Gianna Smith. I'm never over, the friends that I lost last year. But the best thing you can do is just you gotta live. You gotta remember, the good memories of them. Don't remember what happened to them, but remember the good times you've had. Always remember to just, you have friends around you. You have a support system. If you ever feel like you don't have no way out and you feel sad, you just feel that emptiness inside you, talk to someone. You can talk to me, you can talk to your parents, your siblings, anyone. I'm here for you if you're watching, and if you're feeling down, you can always, talk to me. I'm always a ways away. I know I haven't made YouTube videos in a while. I usually just, stream nowadays, but I'm always busy. But I always try to make time. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I thought this video would be like a nice way to just get my YouTube channel, somewhat have some life in it. And, dealing with loss and grief, there are many ways to do it. You just gotta accept that they're gone. And while it might be very hard to accept that and to finally adapt to that situation, just remember that those people won't want you to live the best life you can be. With Kobe, he always wants you to, live by the Mamba mentality. Never take shortcuts, always work hard, always have that good work ethic. And that is how, doing floss and grieve can be important for us all. And I know this is a very long video. I didn't mean it to be long, but sometimes you just gotta air out those emotions. And to myself, for those people that I've lost last year, I always hold them true to my heart, and I always hold their memories to my heart. They were good friends, and while I've never met Kobe, even though I should have, me being a Laker fan for so long, I would have hoped to at least met one of them. I at least got to meet Shaq and Ron Artest. But I know for Kobe, I know he meant a lot to people. And same with Gianna. Gianna would have been an icon for the WNBA. But with that, that's pretty much all I have got to say. Thank you for watching. And if you ever need to do a floss and grieve, you can always message me, talk to it down in the comments. I'm always a reply away. So I hope you guys have a good night, a good day. And always remember, there's always a better tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye. I also forgot to add in the video, today's Kobe Bryant's birthday. Happy birthday, Black Mamba. He would be turning 43 today. Miss you every day, my man. Hope you and Gigi are doing fine up there in heaven. Alright, guys. Now I'm gone for real. Have a good night.